affirm it together by saying, and so it is. A couple of weeks ago, Reverend Andy was speaking, and he said something that made me feel really good. He said that our philosophy is the teaching for the times, and that we have the message that the world is waiting for. Now, when I heard that, I went, yeah, I believe that. He's right. We do have the message for these times. And then my next thought was, is that true? Is that really true? Or do I just want it to be true because I've invested a lot of time? And so I really, after I heard that, I spent the last couple weeks really processing and trying to be as honest as I could with that idea. Do we have the message for the times? And 5 ideas came through, and that's what I want to share with you this morning. And basically what happened is an idea would come up, just kind of an aspect of the world, and then I looked at how science of mind was impacting that and how it could actually make a difference. So for new people, you'll get a little taste of the science of mind, and for the rest of us, just a nice reminder. So the first thing that came up was, we are living in an age of amplification. Thoughts, emotions, rage, outrage, fear, everything is just moving faster and further and just about everywhere you turn. And I thought about just 200 years ago, 1826. The world wasn't just less advanced, it was moving at an entirely different rhythm of life. Almost every assumption we live by now just simply didn't exist back then. Speed was measured in days and weeks, not in minutes, let alone nanoseconds. And a letter took months to go across the country. News was mostly local, and it was very, very slow. Waiting was normal. Time felt wide. Time was abundant. Energy was scarce. Now, 200 years later, we live in a world where energy is abundant and time feels really scarce. We live in a world where fear spreads virally and instantly, where narratives shape realities, where collective attention moves markets, elections, moods, and where what's broadcast out over our devices according to our individual algorithms is creating this crazy collective reality where we're all scrambling to be the one that's right, and at the end of the day, we're not even sure if it's real or if it's AI. So that's the condition. So a philosophy that teaches people they aren't powerless puppets with hidden forces pulling their strings, but that they can decide and create their own reality, is not only radically spiritual, it's empowering. Science of mind teaches that consciousness precedes experience, that you'll see it when you believe it. Consciousness. And here at our center, that's what we teach every Sunday. That's what we teach in our classes and in our workshops, and not in just a think positive kind of way, but by becoming aware that what we habitually hold in mind is what establishes the pattern that expresses in our life. And yes, it's been great to gain this self-awareness, all these years that we've been coming and learning about the science of mind. And I believe that many of us are ready to move past this just being a personal thing, and that we're ready to come collectively together to make a difference. I think I've been saying that a lot. So, realizing that we can create a new world by collectively holding a new vision, could be something that we want to see. Number 2, we are needing to build a bridge between mysticism and practicality. And what that means is the bridge between being both a spiritual being and a human being. Many paths ask for unquestioned belief, and many scientific paths ask for proof. But in the science of mind, we sit in that liminal space where we can hold both of them. So mysticism is an experience of the divine. It's not like reading about God. It's about actually feeling it, having a true encounter with the divine. And practicality answers the question, well, how does this philosophy help me when I can't pay my bills? It's about external action, about works. So many traditions seem to lean to one side or the other. But here in the science of mind, the same reality that is experienced in mysticism, your real experience with God, is governed by lawful principles that operate in everyday life. That's love and law. It's a bridge that says you don't have to leave the mountaintop. You bring it into the marketplace. Realizing that we can be our most beautiful whole self while navigating our world experience. That's an idea. Number 3, we're searching for clarity regarding just what our responsibility is. This is a real big one with me because I have a tendency to being overly responsible. And it seems like the world is swinging between two extremes, from everything's my fault and how am I going to fix it, to I'm powerless, there's nothing I can do. But here's what the science of mind says, and this gave me a great relief. Science of mind says you are not responsible for everything. So listen to these. Well, first of all, that releases a lot of guilt and a really heavy burden, at least for me. So, Science of Mind says, you did not create every system you live inside. You were not the sole cause of collective suffering. You are not morally or spiritually at fault for every outcome. You are not required to fix the world alone. But Science of Mind then goes on to say that while you're not responsible for everything, you are responsible for how you respond. That's that response ability. So this is a very important pivot, and now I want to tell you what you are responsible for. Okay? The consciousness you inhabit. The assumptions you carry. The tone of being you bring into your actions. The lens through which you interpret and respond. You may not control the storm, but you are responsible for the posture from which you stand in it. Realizing that our most important responsibility is how we show up in the world. and not how the world shows up in ours. Number 4. We're looking for something that supports inner coherence in the midst of utter chaos. Our world is navigating climate uncertainty, political fragmentation, economic instability, accelerating technology, all in aging bodies that are living longer. So what does the science of mind have to offer here? Well, it doesn't promise to control those conditions, but what it does do is teach alignment. Alignment means standing in your truth and responding instead of reacting, reaching for principle instead of panic, staying grounded in your being, not letting it be circumstances or conditions outside of you. Means recognizing your God nature while inhabiting your human one and choosing the higher one. That's not escapism, that's resilience. When the world is spinning topsy-turvy, we remain at the calm in the center, aligned with infinite source. The world does not calm down because you are aligned. You become calm enough to meet it without losing yourself. One of my new favorite quotes from Abraham Hicks is, "Alignment is always more powerful than effort." So, realizing the most effective way I can help be a part of the change I want to see in the world is maintaining my alignment with Source more than what's going on outside of me. Another good idea. So those are there were 5 ways. These 4 are ways that the teaching of the science of mind, I mean, how we can bring this teaching into these experiences that we're all sharing, navigating this world. Knowing that reality is created from the inside, not the outside, that your human and divine nature work together. Your hands and feet are the way that the divine expresses. You're not responsible for everything, but you are responsible for how you respond, and alignment is always more powerful than effort. So that was the first 4. Now the 5th one's my more favorite one. The 5th one is, I want to use a metaphor that will help explain it, because I think it's a really powerful one. And it has to do with a movie. And I've noticed that almost all my talks, I seem to bring in one of my movies. There was Everything Everywhere All at Once, the Barbie movie, Interstellar, and Wicked is probably on its way. That one is still stirring around in there. But today there's another movie that I want to use as the metaphor to explain this 5th idea. And so, Scarlett, if you want to line up the trailer for it. So if you haven't seen this movie, it'll give you the synopsis of it so that you'll understand what I'm talking about. And if you have seen it, just enjoy it. The minute you hear the first note and see him on the stage, you'll know the movie.
I have just created something totally illogical.
That's what I like about it.
If you build it, he will come. If you build it, he will come.
If you build what, who will come?
You didn't say.
I hate it when that happens.
too.
Who's hearing voices?
Ray is. I think I know what "if you build it, he will come" means.
Ooh, why do I not think this is such a good thing?
Daddy, there's a man out there on your lawn. Are you a ghost?
What do you think?
You look real to me.
Hi.
You couldn't see it.
This is really interesting.
You believed in the magic. It happened. Isn't that enough?
Annie, it's more than that. I feel it as strongly as I've ever felt anything in my life. There's a reason.
Go the distance.
Did you hear the voice too? Did you hear it?
Go the distance.
Yes.
Our Graham is dead. He died in 1972.
Are you Moonlight Graham?
No one's called me Moonlight Graham in 50 years.
Unbelievable.
It's more than that. It's perfect.
You build a baseball field in the middle of nowhere, and you sit here and you stare at nothing.
This field, this game, it's a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good.
Hey, is this heaven?
No. It's Iowa.
Kevin Costner, Amy Madigan, James Earl Jones, Ray Liotta, Burt Lancaster. Sometimes, when you believe the impossible, the incredible comes true. Field of Dreams.
That one's not only in my top 10, it's in my top 3. So there is that moment early in the movie when this quiet voice comes to a regular, ordinary guy walking in his Iowa cornfield, and it says, "If you build it, he will come." Ray Kinsella doesn't hear the voice because he's special. He hears the voice because he's available. That voice doesn't shout, it whispers an invitation. No explanation, no business plan, no assurance of success. Just a voice that says, if you build it, he will come. Science of Mind reminds us that availability is a spiritual practice. It's about learning to be present, about holding that present moment, because in that moment is the only time you are available to listen. And Science of Mind also recognizes that voice. It's not a fantasy. It's not wishful thinking. It's the still, small voice of spirit moving within you, calling you to a greater expression of living. Ernest Holmes taught that infinite intelligence is always seeking expression through us. That means guidance doesn't come from the outside, from life. It comes from within, from that inner consciousness. So Ray builds that field before he knows it will work. He risks disappointment, ridicule, financial loss. And it's not blind faith, it's spiritual alignment and trust. That is the 5th item, trust. In Science of Mind, we don't wait for conditions to change before we believe. When we come into alignment, we believe first, and then watch as all the conditions reorganize themselves around that new belief. The baseball field is a metaphor for consciousness. Once the field exists, those who are ready can find it. And those who aren't ready, they just can't see it. So what is the message of a field of dreams? It's about the importance of being available and being aligned, but most importantly, it's about trusting that everything is working towards our highest good, whether it's shown up yet or not. And it was interesting, I had my hair cut last week, and at in her salon, there was a sign that said, "Pray, trust, wait." Realizing that trusting divine intelligence knows exactly what it's doing, that could be a very useful tool to also have. So for me, Reverend Andy is right. This is the message for our times. And it's not just science of mind, it's the new thought message that brings a whole different perspective into the arena. A philosophy that teaches us to be available, open to the present moment, and puts us in the perfect place so that we can actually hear what we need to hear so that we can newly align with that. We can individually and collectively focus on what we want to see in the world, not getting distracted by all the crazy conditions outside of it. This was another Abraham Hicks quote. You cannot push against what you do not want without becoming a part of it. That is the law of attraction. Science of mind teaches us to stay aligned with that divinity within, and then that is what we express out in the world. And Ernest Holmes taught us that you begin where you are, and you just keep moving forward. Each of us is building something. A relationship, a community, a vision, a center, a life of meaning. Science of mind doesn't shout either. It doesn't demand belief. It whispers. If you build it, it will come. So pay attention. Choose wisely. Trust that life responds. And right now, that may be the best posture we human beings can take. So the question is not, will they come? Pregnant pause. The question is, are you willing to build it anyway? Because when we build from alignment, from inspiration, from love, from faith, life always meets us in that field. Namaste.